Good morning and welcome to the Blog Box. Hi, I'm Kat Massey and I'm your visibility and confidence specialist. So I help entrepreneurs and business owners to show up as them on this busy, noisy social media platform. So it gives me great pleasure today to welcome another entrepreneur onto the Blog Box. So good morning, Jen.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hope you are too.
Yeah,
just been
brilliant.
messing with Scrabble, of course. It's World Scrabble Day.
World Scrabble Day. Who bloody knew? Hey, so we're going to go straight into your interview because there's so much I could talk to you about, Jen. So we're going to start off with, how did you decide to become self-employed?
So it started on a slight negative slant because I'd been bullied in my last job. So this was back in 2015 and I basically left. I will never walk out of a job. I will do it properly, but I resigned and basically I didn't know where to go. And then at the end of the year, so that was like late summer, at the end of the year we moved house and it was the first time I had space to have an actual piano. So I got my piano moved up from my parents' house in Manchester. And for the first time, I had the space to become a piano teacher. So my husband literally said to me, look, I see you have no direction. How about giving piano teaching a go? So I just set up there and then, and I've never looked back.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you took a negative and absolutely turned it into a positive. So what's it like for you being a piano teacher?
So when I first started, so a bit of background, I've got an anxiety disorder that I've had since I was 13. I was only diagnosed at 27 and I set that up I was 29. So I'd only been diagnosed for a couple of years. So when I started piano teaching, I was actually still scared of people. So it's how to be a piano teacher whilst being scared of everything and everyone. So I was the piano teacher that no one had heard of, that didn't do gigs and didn't get out there and play, but slowly I got by word of mouth. People would say, oh, there's this quite unknown person who's actually quite good, go and see it. And that's how I got students. So basically I put one poster up somewhere and someone else put another poster up and gradually they came to me. Some stayed, some went, but every student I had, obviously I learned from them and evolved how I teach. So I'm 5 years on now, so I've got different age groups with different resources and I know what I'm doing a bit more now. But I'm no longer afraid of people, so I can actually get out there a bit more now. And one background thing I did though, 2016, my father-in-law started volunteering at Pembrey Castle, which is a local National Trust place, and there's a piano in there. So I started playing in there as a background artist. So the idea of a background artist is no one's listening. So I was comfortable with that. And I basically slowly grew from there onwards.
God, that is absolutely amazing story. So from just being scared of people and then going for referrals and then going to play there, absolutely amazing. But then, Jen, lockdown happened. So how did that affect you?
So there's it's the swings and roundabouts idea. So there was huge positives as well as negatives. So I'll start with the sort of the down bit. So basically I've been building and it got to the year before lockdown and I was finally getting somewhere in business, as in I was starting to make an actual profit and everything was going up, words of mouth was getting through. I was actually full because I only worked certain days a week and I was fully subscribed. Then lockdown hit. I lost 2/3 of my clients in 1 week and I went into panic mode and I basically lost about 2/3 of my income. I was thinking of getting out there and doing gigs because I'd done a wedding in 2018. I quite like that, but I also haven't got a website yet. So I was relying on word of mouth again. Of course, the gigs went flat completely. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do because I'm too shy to play for people in public. Penryn is shut down. So I was like, well, what do I do? Panic. So that's when I took on my second business, which is Tropic. So I'll talk more about that in a bit. But the piano bit, it was like panic for 2 months. And then June, because of Tropic and being able to develop myself through that and networking, I finally got a few more students back. A few more students adapted to the internet idea after we went into the second lockdown. So I got a couple of them back. And then from Christmas to Easter, we've had the vulnerable ones came face to face, and then the ones that could have online had online. And this week we're finally back to face to face. But I've had to space people out because of COVID restrictions and guidelines. So I've also managed to sort of fill my spaces whilst having lost people. So I managed to get a balance there. But obviously it was quite an uphill struggle when lockdown hit originally.
God, that is just another amazing story. You've been through so much, but I feel like you're getting slowly but surely visible now. And I know that you've got your own hashtag called, let me get this right, the Tropic Pianist Gamer. Now, how did that happen?
So that happened about October, and everyone basically, I signed up to a lot of training over my journey with Tropic. So I set up Tropic the week before lockdown, and the panic was with Tropic as well because I didn't know how to do it. I was constantly comparing myself to others. I was so scared of being judged because my family didn't support me. And my friends were nowhere to be seen at that point in time either. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. And all the courses I'd do, they were all saying the same thing: find your niche, find your sort of corner of the world so you can stand out. And I was like, but I don't stand out, I'm invisible. And I had that mindset for quite a while. And then it came to about September, October, and I discovered a few people who helped with goal setting and that side of things. So it's like, what's your vision? And I was like, my niche, there's a singing sensei lady. So if you've not heard the singing sensei lady, that's Lisa Matthew, man. And I'd been watching her for quite a few months in the background because she follows the same circles as me. I was like, singing sensei, Tropic Pianist. That has a ring to it. I was like, but I'm not a Tropic Pianist, I'm a Tropic Pianist Gamer, because in September I got voted as head admin of Nintendo Players UK, which makes me more recognised as a gamer as well. So I was like, well, my magic number is 3. So I've got to be 3 things, not 2 things. So that's how the Tropic Pianist Gamer existed.
That is, honestly, it absolutely blows my mind. And I know with working with you, I always say you're the most nichest person that I've ever come across. But you know what? It absolutely works. So let's talk a little bit more about Tropic, and let's talk about, obviously you've had a lot of self-development in there, but it is a product-based business. So what is your favourite product when it comes to Tropic?
So when I started Tropic, I hadn't actually tried a lot of the range, I'll be honest, but the colours drew me in because I'm a colourful person, and I was too afraid to express my colours. So Tropic's one way I can now express myself a bit more. But what got me into it in the first place was the deodorant. So basically the summer, the year before, my Pilates teacher sold it, and she never told me it was network marketing, but I was looking for natural deodorant, and when I googled it, Tropic was the first result. So I knew she sold it, so I started buying it from her, and basically it converted me completely. I was like, well, I better keep using this because that's my natural solution, it works. And then I discovered who my now upline is, and I started buying off her, and she told me it was network marketing. So that's the point at which I realised I could join it and get a discount for all the deodorant I was buying.
Amazing. I'm a big Tropic fan myself, so I absolutely love the core values, not only of the company, but the products are just amazing. So I'm glad you found Tropic in your life. So let's go back to the piano now. So what's your favourite piece to play?
So that's a tricky one because it's like, I like the harder pieces, but I've got like, not a star pupil, but I've got a pupil who comes to me to play to me rather than learn, and he's only he's in his mid-teens, and he plays Rachmaninoff from memory, and I can only dream of doing that because basically my hands aren't big enough. I've got quite small hands. So my favourite pieces are like the Broadway type, like Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, that kind of thing, and film music. But I also like the tricky pieces that I can't play publicly. So for example, Schubert impromptus, I love them. I love Mendelssohn's Song Without Words as well. Just basically anything with a good tune, which is what my general music taste is anyway. If you can air guitar to it, it's a good tune kind of thing. Classical sense, if it's got a good tune you can sing to, it's the same idea.
I absolutely love music. So is that a myth then about fingers? They don't have to be long and have quite large hands to play the piano, or have I just made that up?
The irony with piano is, in the old days, I'm talking like history time, it was considered a lady's instrument. But what you'll realise with Chopin, Rachmaninoff, and the more sort of advanced, as it were, not that Mozart isn't advanced, but you know what I mean, they were written with the composer in mind, and those composers had massive hands. So most of the most advanced pieces that I know of are for people with big hands.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be at that point where I'm overstretching my hands to injure them, because I had a head of performance at university, and she was so into obviously classical repertoire, she got arthritis in her hands. So I'm trying to prevent that so I can still be a gamer as well as a pianist as well.
Totally get that from a retired stylist who worked with her hands for 26 years. I totally resonates with me. So there's the Tropic, there's the piano. Let's get to the gaming, and let's talk about what's your favorite Nintendo game.
So I joined through community. So this has got a bit of a backstory. I've got loads of stories, haven't I? But I met my husband. I met him in real life, but we got together through our love of Mario Kart. So in the first place, Mario Kart is our go-to game. But over the years and time, and obviously we've been running the community, we set up Nintendo North Wales in 2012. So we've gone from competing at Mario Kart to competing in Splatoon. He competes, I don't. I'm usually the host of the tournament, so I don't compete because I'm quite a bad loser. But my actual favourite game down to the ground is probably Tetris, a good old game of Tetris without items. I used to be the best in North Wales, but I'm a bit rusty these days. But it's still my favourite game in the fundamental sense.
That's an amazing statement, isn't it? The best in North Wales. I don't think I've ever met the best in North Wales gamer. That's amazing. I'm so excited. So you've gone from, listening to your story, you've gone from like invisible to visible to owning that that hashtag. So what is next for you, Jen? What's next for your business?
So post-COVID now, I'm hoping to expand my piano business. Now, there is a slight kind of sidetrack to that, as in there is a fourth part of me, and I'm actually a trained sighted guide, and currently I'm a sighted guide, so I'm quite limited in what I can do with the other three things beyond online. But once that's finished, I'm hoping to do functions and gigs as an actual pianist, not a shy pianist, a visible pianist. And I'm hoping to make a website in the next year or two as well, once I've got myself together, because I'm hoping to book a professional photo shoot. The problem is, as a pianist, how do you book a shoot with a piano? Because you're not going to do it in your own little room, are you? So that's a thought in progress, as it were.
But there is such a thing as virtual shoots. I don't know whether you've seen my latest branded shoot, and she wasn't in the room with me, so it was done all in my own home. And yeah, I think they're marvelous things to have if you wanted, obviously, your own piano with that amazing wallpaper behind you. You've got to get
that's
that.
That's my project for 2022, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So if we wanted to find you, I know you're saying you haven't got a website, but if we wanted to find you, where can we find you?
So the best place to find me is probably Instagram. I'm tropic.jen, but obviously if you type in hashtag Tropic Pianist Gamer, you'll find me quick enough. I've actually recently changed my Instagram name to Tropic Pianist Gamer from Tropic Jen, so I'm hopefully easier to search as well. But also, if you're interested in the exclusive content side of the Tropic Pianist Gamer as a whole, the best place to find me is Jen's Musical Self-Care Den, which is my Facebook group. It's private and it has all my live sessions to date. I only started doing the live sessions from Christmas. So twice a month I go live on my piano and play on a theme. So the next one is this Sunday, and it's based around pirates and treasure hunts, because the theme was supposed to be Easter and green. But I was like, world and treasure hunts. Yeah, that works. So bit of Pirates of the Caribbean coming. And then I've got a page, Tropic with Jen, and I also have a sort of hidden YouTube channel. So I don't actually know how you find that, but it's on YouTube. But I call it hidden because people subscribe, but they can't actually see anything because all my lists are hidden because of copyright. But if you do find me on YouTube and want to look up my music without joining my den, if you contact me, you can get access to the playlist exclusively.
Amazing. What I'm going to do, like always with all my guests, I'm going to pop your links underneath this interview. But we're going to finish this interview now, and I'd love you to give me some tips for people who they're thinking of just starting out.
So, depending on what you're starting out in, obviously I had piano and music in my veins from as long as I can remember. So I suppose in a way this was my backup plan, but it was always the plan I was meant to do, but I had to work out myself that I want to do it. So the first tip is make sure it's what you truly want to do. And if you can call it a passion, make sure it's your passion. If it's not, well, it grew into my passion. It wasn't my passion originally, but I can truly say it is now. Being Tropic and Pianist and Gamer is my passion. And then basically don't rush it. I mean, if you need the income, I'd suggest probably not going self-employed on its own to start with. Do something to supplement it, and then when you're ready, you can sort of let things go and be yourself. Because that's what I did. I had a job on the side originally just to supplement what I was doing, and then basically own your niche. Find what you're good at and why you stand out. So as an MLM, well, we're not supposed to use MLM, but network marketer. I'm a Tropic ambassador, but being a Tropic, there's thousands of Tropic ambassadors. What makes you stand out? If you're any other company that is thousands of, think about how you stand out, and that's important. And then be yourself.
It's amazing advice. So thank you so much, Jen. I could chat to you for hours. There's so many stories you have got, but if you want to go and find Jen, then please do go and watch her stories on Instagram. They're amazing to watch. She's an inspirational, resilient lady that's gone from invisible to visible. So thanks for chatting with us, Jen. It's been lovely.
Thank you.